Good morning. Good morning. This is my first product launch since being named CEO. I'm sure you didn't know that. And it is a pleasure to host you today. I love Apple, and I consider it the privilege of a lifetime to have worked here for almost 14 years, and I am very excited about this new role. I want to especially welcome you to this campus. This campus serves as a kind of second home for many of us. And so it's sort of like inviting you into our home. In particular, I want to welcome you to this room that we call our town hall. This room, town hall, has quite a history at Apple. Just 10 years ago, we launched the original iPod here, and it went on to revolutionize the way we listen to music. And just 1 year ago, we launched the new MacBook Air, which has fundamentally changed the way people think about notebook computers. Today, we'll remind you of the uniqueness of this company as we announce innovations from our mobile operating system to applications, to services, to hardware. And more importantly, the integration of all of these into a powerful yet simple and integrated experience. It's an extraordinary time to be at Apple. And I'd like to get started with a few updates. Apple has enormous momentum, and nowhere is that more evident than in our retail stores. Just last weekend, we opened 2 new stores in China, one in Hong Kong and one in Shanghai. Both of these stores are amazing, and both have set new records. This store is on Nanjing Road in Shanghai, in the center of the city in a very famous shopping district. It is absolutely gorgeous. It has like an iconic glass staircase. I think only Apple could do this. It is our largest store in Asia and set a record for welcoming 100,000 visitors for opening weekend. By comparison, when we opened our top store in LA, we thought we had done well when we welcomed 100,000 visitors over the course of 1 month. There is amazing momentum here. This is our first store in Hong Kong. It's atop the Airport Express Railway. It's also a beautiful store. And if you happen to be at the Genius Bar or in for a one-to-one training session on the 2nd floor, you can sneak a view of Victoria Harbor, which is absolutely the signature view of Hong Kong. It's also just an incredible store, and look at this. Only Apple could do this. We also had a few people to share our opening with in Hong Kong. We sold more Macs on opening day in this store than we have in any other store in the world. And it was one of the best opening days in our retail history. Now, rather than listen to me talk about this, I'd like to show you a short video to give you a feel of the excitement and the energy around our retail. think I've watched that 100 times, and I could watch it 100 more easily. We now have 6 stores in China, and we're going to do lots more. This brings our total worldwide to 357 in 11 countries, and we will continue to invest in more and more stores and raise the bar on retail. Now, our products are at the core of everything we do and are responsible for the momentum that we have. And I'd like to briefly walk through each of our 4 product areas and give you a little bit of an update on each one. First up is the Macintosh. You can't talk about the Mac without talking about Lion, which we just introduced last quarter, and the reviews here have been incredible. Walt Mossberg of the Wall Street Journal said, "It's the best computer operating system out there." I don't think I could have said it better. And for the first time ever, we offered Lion as a digital download only. This is incredible. And the results have been staggering because I'm pleased to report that we have downloaded over 6 million copies of Lion. This is 80% more than Snow Leopard, which was our previous edition, which was a great release. Now, as another metric to show you how successful this is, we measure adoption, which is the percentage of people that upgrade to a new software. If you look at Windows 7, it took Windows 7 about 20 weeks to reach 10% of their install base. Lion did this in 2 weeks, 1/10 of the time. At the same time we announced Lion, we announced the new MacBook Air. And I assume you know about the new MacBook Air, but it's thin and light and beautiful and wicked fast. Our customers love it, and our competitors have been trying to copy it, but they're finding it's not so simple. But more importantly, the customers love it, and here's an example of what's been said. Wired Magazine, after years of hoping and searching, I finally found laptop nirvana. Now, the MacBook Air is just a portion of our entire lineup of Macintoshes, which are the best that we've ever shipped. And customers have really responded to the Mac. In fact, the MacBook Pro and the iMac are the #1 best-selling notebook and desktop in the United States. And this momentum is not just limited to a model. In fact, if you look at it across the last year ending in June, the Mac outgrew the PC market by almost 6 times. This is incredible. And it's not just a year. In fact, every single quarter for 5 years, the Mac has outgrown the PC market. And we are now approaching 60 million users around the world. 60 million. With all of this momentum, our market share has steadily increased, and I'm pleased to report that in U.S. retail, the Macs now are selling about 1 of 4 PCs sold in the store. Now, for those of you that have followed Apple for a while, you know that it wasn't too long ago that this number was in the mid-single digits. Now, having said that, there's still 77% of the people that are buying something else. What does this mean? Well, we have an incredibly high ceiling here. We have a lot to go. So that's the Mac. We're very, very pleased with how the Mac is going. Next up is music. And of course, music for us is iTunes and iPod. And as I said earlier, it was only 10 years ago that iPod launched. And it not only revolutionized the way we all listen to music, but it revolutionized the whole music industry. And maybe what's more important than that on a personal level is it reminded all of us how much we love music. and made it so simple to enjoy again. And it became a part of our lives, from studying to commuting to exercising to just hanging out at home. And across that period of time, iPod became the #1 music player in the world. And in the United States, the market share has been above 70% for a very long time. Over that period of time, we now have cumulatively sold over 300 million iPods around the world. And to put that in some context for you, it took Sony 30 years to sell 220,000 Walkman cassette players. Truly amazing. Now, the MP3 market is a mature market, but this is still a large, and iPod is still a large and important market for Apple. And we've sold 45 million iPods in the last year ending in June. And what's more encouraging is that almost half of those are going to people who are buying their first iPod. And many are going to people who are just being introduced to Apple through the iPod. So this remains a very important business for us. Now, you can't talk about music without talking about iTunes. iTunes started about 8 years ago. We started with 200,000 songs in our music library. We now have 100 times that many, 20 million songs offered for sale. The features of the store are absolutely incredible and are things that no one could dream of back in 2003. It is the #1 music store in the world, and we've now downloaded over 16 billion songs. It's mind-boggling. And so that's our music business. We're very happy with the music business. Next up is iPhone. This could be a reason why the room is full today. You know, what's amazing is that iPhone 4, in a very short period of time, has sold over half of the total iPhones sold the entire time we've been selling. And it's become the #1 smartphone in the world. And that momentum continued in the second calendar quarter, far outpacing the industry. And this momentum isn't just in, one type of market like consumer. In fact, 93% of the Fortune 500 companies are testing or deploying the iPhone. 93%. And what's more important than all of this is that customers love iPhone. And it's consistently rated #1 in every customer satisfaction ranking I can find. And it's not #1 by a small amount. In fact, the iPhone is pummeling the competition. These are the people that answered very satisfied, which is the high bar of the customer sat survey. If you include the people that answered satisfied,